standards are rather funny. Because Western standards don't look like neither like Krishna or Shri Rama. The person like Shri Rama was a very healthy, tall person with his hands up to the knees. Ajanubhav. He is the one who has Ajanubhav. And he was plump. Both of them were plump. They had to be plump people because they were, though they were born of the Agni, he was born of the Agni, but the water is the main element of Sri Vishnu. So they were all plump people. They were not thin like sticks, as today's modern ideas are, to be thin like sticks and like TB patients. But it doesn't mean all plump people are good. We always logically think that plump people are, if mother says so, then plump people are good. It's not the point. The inner side of it, I'm saying. The inner side of it is just the opposite. Inner side of it is absolutely beautiful and absolutely full of love, affection and warmth. A person who doesn't have these things is a sign of a person who is not a surgeon, first of all. A person who is very loud, talks loudly, speaks loudly, laughs at wrong places, must be half mad, but cannot be a surgeon. See, the softness of Sri Rama goes to the extremes where I call the sankocha, the formality, the formal. But it is in English language, formal is not the word, sankoch. He was once, when he was fighting Ravana, he was taking out with his arrow his 10 heads one after another. And if he took out one, then took out the second, the first one would come back. So because he had a kind of a blessing that nobody can kill him by hitting him on his head. So Lakshmana says, you know for definite that this Ravana cannot be killed by hitting on his head. So why don't you hit him in his heart? So he said, the reason is this, that just now in his heart is Mahalakshmi, the Sita. Sita is sitting in his heart. And how can I hit him on his heart? Because she's there, she might be hurt. So what's the use of hitting on the head, he said. He said, because once I start hitting him on the head fast, his attention will go there. As soon as his attention will go into his head, then I can hit him on his heart. See the sankoch. See the sankoch, the way he talked. Now we have, see now what's wrong with you? Why are you all the time smiling and like that? Why can't you keep quiet? What is there to smile about certain things where you don't have to smile? Keep quiet. Now, then what happened? That he was so kind once when a very ugly woman, Shurpanakha, came to entice him. And she said, she came to entice, she said that Rama, why don't you marry me? I mean, to a person like Rama, who is Maryada Purushottama, to ask such a horrible questions. Somebody would have really beaten her up, if not anything else. So Sri Ram smiled. He said, Madam, I'm sorry, I have a wife and I believe in one wife, Eka Patni Vrat. So I'm sorry I can't marry you. But mischievously says, all right, my brother is there, his wife is left in Ayodhya, you can ask. So he went to her and he asked, she went to him and asked, Lakshmana, why don't you marry me? she had become very beautiful. She has transformed herself to a beautiful woman. She must have gone to some beauty parlor or something. But she made herself like that. And she was there. And he looked at her, so angry. He said, "You, the ugly, why do you want to ask such a question?" He cut her nose. When he cut her nose, that was in Nasik, and that's why Nasika means the nose, and that's why you have been to Nasik. That's the place where he cut her nose. He was very angry. But Shri Rama did not. He said in a way that's very convincing that, "See, I have a wife, and I am a person who believes in my one wife." Now, another character about him was that he was consistent. He was never inconsistent like Sri Krishna. Sri Krishna was a diplomat, and diplomacy is in being inconsistent. Sri Krishna's style was different. But why? What's the matter with you? Why? What is it? You come and sit here, this side. Come along, Tina. Come and sit on the other side. Why do you talk to her? Go and sit at the back. Go. She's already given me a very bad time in Pune. And now here she is. While I'm talking, please don't talk to each other. This is the least you can do to me. Have you seen any Indians behaving like this? It's very disturbing. I'm concentrating on you while you are not concentrating on me. It's all right when there's a joke, something you laugh. But what's the need to talk to each other? I can't understand. All right. Sorry, I had to say that. You see, at the time when I'm discussing Shri Rama. Shri Rama would not have said that. But in Sahaja Yoga, you can't carry on like Shri Rama. Sometimes you have to be like Parshurama also. Otherwise, things don't work out. Now, when it went ahead with it in his character, which was so beautiful, that you find he was such a consistent person. Whatever he said, all the life he carried that. For example, he said, "I'm the one who believes in one wife, Eka Patni Vrat." Now he had a very nice wife, no doubt, very beautiful wife, but she had gone to Ravana and he was left alone. When they wanted to start a kind of a yajna called as Rajasuya Yajna, which was meant to be the conquering the whole world. Then they asked him, "You have to marry because you have to have your wife." They said, "No, I can't marry because nobody could be like my wife and I can't marry. I can forego this kind of a yajna, but I can't marry again." So then they said, "All right, there's only one thing you can do is to make a statue of Sita in gold. And you have to use her, that statue, as a wife representing." He said, "That I will agree." He took away all his ornaments, everything, and made that statue, and he did this again. So whatever he said, he followed thoroughly. In his dharma, he was perfect. Another incident is that when Sita was lost, he never slept. He never slept on a bed, always on the Mother Earth. Never slept on a bed, always on the Mother Earth. The pain he had of his wife is very well described by all the poets of India. And when Sita left him ultimately, in a very mysterious way, she just disappeared in the Mother Earth, because Mother Earth had given her birth. So she disappeared into Mother Earth. Then Shri Rama became absolutely lost and he jumped in the river Sharayu and disappeared in the water element from where he had come. Now this man had to give up his wife. In these contrasts, you can see the wave rising and falling of a personality. The society in which he lived, the state which he ruled, had an objection for a wife who had lived with Ravana. And the public started talking about it. So as a good king, he just decided that his wife should be left forever. And then he sent her on a beautiful chariot with his prime minister and his brother Lakshmana, who took her down and left her, told her this is what has happened, and that Shri Rama has asked her to take you down to the ashram of Valmiki. As a result of that, she got very upset, and she said, she was Adi Shakti, so she didn't have to bother. She said, you just leave me here. Very self-respecting person. She didn't say, no, I'll come to him, or I'll sue him, I'll go in the courts, get all his money, how dare he throw me out. Nothing of the kind. That's the grace of a woman. Graciously, she said, all right, now you have listened to your brother, I'm your sister-in-law elder too. Now you obey me. And I tell you, as your sister-in-law, that you can now go, leave me here alone, and I don't want you to go any further with me to deport me with somebody. And she was pregnant. Here, if it happens, of course, horrible things can happen. But in India, if such a thing happens, the wife will kill herself or she won't be able to bear it. I think both things are just the same in escape. If there's no aggression, then there is recession. But she said, no, I have to give birth to these two children. I can look after myself. All right, graciously he's done it, I have nothing. And please tell him not to worry about me. And she told Shri Rama, Shri Lakshmana, that all right, you look after him. That's all I want. And she told the chief minister, the mantri, that you must look after the kingdom. See the dignity, see the balance, see the character, the personality of Sri Rama. He was called as Maryada Purushottama. And look at his wife. She was equal to him in every way. When she was kept by Ravana, Ravana was so frightened of her Shakti that he would not touch her. He used to frighten her. Say, I'll do this to you, the women of India, I'll do this to the women of the world, I'll do that kind of a horrible thing, I'll take another birth, I'll misbehave. She said, do what you like. You cannot touch me. He could not touch her hand. He was so frightened. And when Hanumana brought the ring of Sri Rama and presented to her and said that this is the ring of Sri Rama. She said, yes, I know. How is he? He said, all right. All inquiries she had about herself. So he said, Mother, I can take you on my back. I can easily take you. You come on my back and I'll take you. She said, no, I won't go with you. It's Sri Rama who is a brave king. He should come himself, fight this Ravana, kill him because he is evil. And then I will go with him with all the glory. She was not frightened of anything. For her, the important thing was that Ravana should be killed. He is evil and he should be killed by Rama. Such a great courage for a woman. Both sides, if you see, you'll be surprised that how a woman's character is such a powerful thing. It's not a reactionary thing. My husband is like this, that's why I'm like that. Or my husband doesn't do this for me, that's why I'm like that. My husband has gone away, so I'm finished. What am I to do without my husband? Nothing of the kind. She stands on her feet. She said no to Hanumana, and she stands on her feet and she says, when Rama will come and kill this evil and remove this evil from this earth, then only he can take me with him. I won't go with you. I won't escape. I won't run away. Nothing. I am going to face it myself here. For a woman, it is too much to say, to be imprisoned in a horrible person's jail or in a place which is so dangerous for her. To say that I won't go. Whatever you may try, whatever tricks you may try, whatever you may say, I won't go. Just imagine. And Ravana was such a horrid fellow. He did all kinds of things to her, but she kept absolutely calm and quiet, waiting for her husband to come back. Can we think of such women in modern times? So satisfied with themselves, so much in balance, so much full of confidence and strength. This is the message of Sita's life. The benevolence of Shri Rama was shown when he started ruling the people. He was the one who cared for the needs of the people. For him, it was important that the people whom he ruled should be happy and joyous. He looked after them with great love. He had 2 sons whom he looked after for a short time because they were lost with the mother, Sita, and they are the ones who found him out in a way that Valmiki taught them how to sing the Ramayana. And they went to Ayodhya and sang the Ramayana. Rama went with them, and one day in one of the yagyas, when they caught the horse of Shri Rama, Hanumana found it impossible to fight those 2 boys, and he couldn't understand. Here now the character of great Hanumana one has to describe. He went and told Shri Rama, I can't understand these 2 boys, I can't face them, I don't know who they are. So Shri Rama went there, and these boys were standing with their arrows. Then Shri Sita appeared before them, and she said, you cannot fight, he is your father. This made Hanumana realize it, and he said, all right, I can fight Shri Rama now. Why did he leave you like this? See the sweetness of Sri Hanumana, who was such a great devotee of Sri Rama, could see that he has done injustice to my mother, and he stood for that. It's very sweet of Sri Hanumana to do that. Hanumana is, as you know, is the angel Gabriel, who is innocence, simplicity, and dynamism. His dynamism was such that as soon as he was born, he said, better eat this sun because the sun is scorching the people in India. So he went and gulped down the sun. People had to say that, you see, though the sun is scorching, but it's of great help. Please release the sun. Why did you eat it off? So then he released the sun. Hanumana's whole life was spent in serving Shri Ram. And he was such a dedicated bhakta of Shri Ram. Now here the contrast is also that Hanumana had Navadha siddhis, 9 siddhis. The Anima, Ganima, Laguma, and all sorts of things, that he could become small, he could become big, he could, so many things he had. Despite all these siddhis and the amount of power he had, that Sri Rama once asked him that my brother Lakshmana is being hit and he's very sick, he's just dying. So you go and get a particular kind of sanjeevani, a kind of herb which I want to rub on his head. So he went there and he couldn't find it. So he brought the whole of the mountain on his hand and gave it to Rama. Now you select, I don't know, I can't find it. That is the Hanumana Shakti. And with all that power, he was such a humble person and such a dedicated person. This is the sign of a powerful surgeon. Anybody who is powerful has to be humble and non-violent.